I heard from the grapevine that Michael Jordan came back every 4 years to meet the students.
Just every 4?
For some reason, I heard that. And I was like, you know what? Like, this is my only chance to meet him, so like, I'm gonna go there. So then that's why I committed. And I was like, this is my chance to meet Michael Jordan.
Wait, now I think you have a better chance.
Huh? I hope so.
Yeah, come on.
I hope so. Michael, where you at, man?
Yeah, come on, Michael.
Final chance to get in the game. Enter Henkel's Summer of Soccer sweepstakes for a chance to win U.S. Soccer Store gift cards. No purchase necessary. Visit henkelsoccersweeps.com for official rules.
Welcome back to the U.S. Soccer podcast presented by Henkel. What a thrilling ride these last 2 weeks have been for your U.S. men's national team. I'm your host, Meghan Klingenberg, and I have been along for that thrilling ride during this historic USA showing during this summer's World Cup. It's been great, and the best part is it's not over. We got the knockout round coming up, and it is so exciting. And I promised you an all-access pass that you wouldn't get on any other show, and I think we're delivering. Last week, we sat down with Captain America Tim Ream, where he showed off his playful side. It's Tim. He was as playful as you can get. And this week, we have a very special convo with Auston Trusty, who quite possibly might have the best name in history for a center back. First up, me and Gus break down Turkey, and we savor that top of the group feeling, and that should make it a lot easier for us to make a far run into this tournament, which, fingers crossed, let's go. And although we have all eyes on the U.S. men's national team right now, I still managed to cruise over to Venice Beach to check out U.S. men's and women's beach national teams. And they took on Trinidad and Tobago. It was quite a historic day, by the way, because the U.S. women's beach national team played for the first time on home sand, and I got to be a part of it. It was fun. We had music, we had bicycle kicks, we had sand going everywhere. Believe me, I'm still fine in sand. Anyways, that was a blast. We're going to be talking about that later. And finally, the animals at Zoo Atlanta are making one final appearance, and they have proven pretty strong in their psychic powers thus far, and I'm pretty excited to see their predictions for this USA versus Türkiye match. We have Zazu and Gumby, their southern ground hornbills, making their prediction. It should be fun. Make sure you catch it all.
So much fun stuff to talk about today. And I know you are especially looking forward to this match because you told me that you think Turkey are the best opponent in this group that we will face. But now, after watching the first 2 games, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
And we will get into that. Like, we will talk about Turkey, but quite frankly, it doesn't even matter because we're top of the group.
Top of the table. Top. Yeah, love it.
Oh my God, how does it feel? First time.
As someone sitting here wearing a 2006 World Cup jersey when we didn't get out of the group, and someone who traveled to 2014, which we did, but then obviously had our struggles at times as well, it feels pretty surreal, mainly because I've never experienced anything like this at a men's World Cup. It's like super cool, and I think the thing that I know I've been hearing from people who aren't fans or weren't already is just how much they're enjoying watching the way this team plays. And so it feels like a special moment where results, personality, and style have all connected, and it couldn't come at a better time. It's a home World Cup. It's a one-off, opportunity, 2 off if you include 1994. And this was what these players had been working towards for some of them, 6 years, 8 years, 2 years, whatever it was. We talked about it in our first show, like the pressure, how you deal with it, what it looks like. I don't think you could have asked for a better way to deal with the pressure. And so that's been fun. The game's relaxing, which is like a wild experience. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? And now you have this third game, and it's like, oh, well, who do you play? Do you have too much rest? And as someone who is a noted Knicks fan, where we just came out of an experience where it was like, rust over rest, what's the issue? I think you'd always take rest. And so I think the U.S. is in, an incredible spot right now.
Truly, truly. And it's been really fun to see, like you said, the convergence of like style and personality and history all come together at once, because that was not something that we've been seeing leading up to this World Cup. Like, we, quite frankly, were all kind of nervous how it was going to go. And it's actually ended up being a historic achievement for this U.S. men's national team. What does this mean for this team and its legacy?
At a minimum, this tournament has been a success, because the whole point of the tournament was to extend the amount of time you were in it to gather more momentum and more interest. And so at its base level, it is job done. Now, they will tell you quarterfinals, semifinals, that's what we're here to do. And that's the right thing to say for them. But from us, from the outside, the growth of the sport has happened over the last 2 weeks already, and it will happen over the next 2 weeks. And that's where the amount of time they are in this tournament is huge. And you have created stars with some of these players, which are now driving points for people to come into the game, for people to connect with, right? We've seen already people talking about, my kids are outside pretending to be Florian Balogun and trying to score goals. And that's the type of stuff that will grow the game. And it's what happened in 94. It's what happened in 99. And they are connection points still. And many of the characters from those two teams are the faces of the sport still. And it was time to pass the baton on, because that's the way it should work. And so now you have a new generation that can step into that role. And they now, because the team is so young, have this platform. They have about 8 more years after this to grow and build on this, whether it's Copa Americas, Gold Cups, Nations League, or future World Cups. And we many times, and I know on this show, the first episode, we looked back at the old World Cups in 94 and talked to Tony Meola and Kobe Jones about what it meant for their lives and what it means for the game. That's what we're going to be doing with this group as well. So I think the legacy is a high-performing group that showed up and helped impact the sport and move it forward. And I don't think the legacy is done being written, whether it's in this tournament or in their careers, right? Because now we've got Weston McKennie and Christian Pulisic and Serginho Dest and Alex Freeman, who are going to be tracked and followed. Everything they do with their clubs, I would not be surprised if many of those players end up finishing their careers in the U.S. and how they impact the markets that they go into, wherever it is, like what we saw Clint Dempsey do at the end of his career, what we saw, one of our co-hosts, Alejandro Bedoya, who has done, where they've grown the sport then more regionally, and then that's helped grow the game. So there's a lot more for these players to do, but they are in the upper echelon of performers all time for the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, I've been hearing kind of the same stories where the kids are in the backyard and they've only loved baseball. They only loved American football. And now they're like running around in the backyard being like, Balogun, like, that's so cool. And that's the thing that you never expect as a player. Because when I was playing, I was always thinking about winning. You don't think about the like repercussions and being a role model necessarily. Like, those are kind of back of the mind things. You didn't get into soccer because you're like, I want to be a great role model. You're like, no, I want to be in soccer because I love to play it. I want to be the best at it, and whatever your personal reasons are. And now we're seeing a whole new generation, a whole country just totally behind this team. And I've been walking around Venice Beach and it's absolutely buzzing. And I guess I got to ask, David, are we a soccer nation after all? Because I kind of feel like we are. And maybe it's been like undercover, but people just didn't like get it or know or have access to it. And now everybody's like, wait, I kind of get why people are into this.
Here's my argument. I would say we always have been. The issue with being a soccer nation as the U.S. is it's always been splintered. That you had, every weekend, you had X millions of people playing and watching soccer. But they were doing that in different languages. They were following different teams. They were following different leagues. And the sort of missing point... But
that's kind of the best part, though.
100%. But the missing part has always been a centralization point for it all to come together behind something. And that's where the strength of the soccer community, I think, can be seen if the U.S. national team becomes that central point, which is these massive numbers when it comes to viewing. And then with that becomes power, which is people start to chase those fans and want to like create things for them. And we've always had the case. I mean, we have leagues here that get high viewership and get high attendance. We have had a parade in New York City for the U.S. women's national team when they won the World Cup. We have had teams from other countries come here and play friendlies. You know, Argentina has played almost half their friendlies over the last 10 years in the U.S., Mexico, of course, as well. We've had leagues that have brought teams here to play tournaments. We see, obviously, the KC Current hosting a tournament once a year with teams. We saw Arsenal on the women's side come last year. On the men's side, it's endless throughout the summer. And then around Christmas, the Brazilian teams come and the Liga MX teams come. So I would say we've always been a soccer country. It's just been, can there be one driving force in any aspect that people come and unify behind? And that's where it feels like what the U.S. men's national team has done over the last 2 weeks can be that point, which is soccer fans kind of need an excuse to come in and say, yeah, this is my team. And I think the quality of soccer has been there. Generic American sports fans have kind of looked for a team to say, well, are you going to be a winner? Like, you know, I'm a figure skating fan when Alyssa Liu is good. I'm not a figure skating fan on February of 2028 when there's nothing to watch and I don't know who it is. I think we've seen a fusion of those two things. And what's beautiful about it is no other soccer culture on the planet will be the same as what the US's is because of the so many unique elements and aspects of it. And that's what's really exciting right now is we're learning as it's happening. The Country Road song, super fun. The way fans, you know, take over cities, the way people are engaging with the team. You know, there's like really funny online stuff in Spanish right now about this team. You know, I have friends in Africa who are calling the US PSG, and they keep saying that PSG never left from the Club World Cup last year. And now this is like all of these fun little ways that people see the game and talk about the game and engage with the game. They're all going to get sprinkled in to following this team. And I think that's what's really exciting over the next few weeks and then the future after that.
Agreed. I mean, say what you want. The internet is undefeated. It's the number one team in this World Cup. There's still time to get in on the action with Henkel. The Summer of Soccer Sweepstakes is giving fans a final chance to win U.S. Soccer store gift cards so you can gear up and show your support for the home team. Because Henkel knows winning starts at home with everyday routines powered by Persil, Got2b Dial, and Loctite. Don't miss your shot to be a part of the moment. No purchase necessary. Starts June 16th and ends July 31st, 2026. Must be 18 and a resident of the contiguous United States. Sponsored by Henkel. Henkel, proud partner of the U.S. Soccer. So let's get back to it, though. We do have another game in group stage. And as much as it doesn't matter, it does matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's Türkiye. And no matter their first two results, I still think they're a good team. They've gone through European qualifying. They have, like, they probably have a chip on their shoulder because they didn't win their first two games and they're in their last match. So talk about Türkiye. Tell us what we're going to see there and what we can expect for the United States.
It has been, for them, a massively frustrating tournament. They have put together the two combined second highest expected goals without scoring a goal in this tournament behind Ecuador. They have had over 70% possession in both their games. They unarguably have the most talented attacking players on the field in both the games they've played, and they've lost both games, and they're eliminated from the World Cup. They're the second team to be eliminated out of a 48-team World Cup behind Haiti. So there is a ton of pressure in Turkey about this team. There's a ton of frustration, and this was supposed to be a breakthrough group. There is still hopes for the future because Arda Güler and Kenan Yildiz are so young, and they are so talented at Juventus and Real Madrid and what they're capable of doing at 21 and 22 years old, right? There's 10 years still for them to play in the national team. That's where I think Thursday becomes really interesting because it's not just, let's rotate the team, give some other people a chance. Like, I think you have to end this tournament with some momentum to take into the next Euro qualifying, to take into Nations League, to take into the next European Championship, because it's still a country that's looking to break through. And that's where I think there will be a lot of pressure in this game, and by pressure, I mean intensity from Turkey against the U.S. They'll have a lot of the ball. They will attack from those wide areas. They will, as we've seen, shoot from everywhere. So it's going to be a big game for whoever is in goal. And I think it will test the U.S. in a way they haven't been tested before. And that's what's great about this is it should look a little bit more like the knockout games look like, where there's a little less possession. And the U.S. is a little bit more toe-to-toe with their opponent, which you assume if you get to a round of 32, the way things look right now, but especially a round of 16 or a quarterfinal, that's the game stage you will be living in. And so that's sort of like a whole new practice that the U.S. needs. And I think we saw them perform really well against Germany in the send-off game in that way. And I thought Senegal was kind of a similar level of opponent, and that was obviously a great performance in the first send-off game. So it should be a different type of test. And this is a Turkish team that hasn't been cohesive in their attack, but it's really down to the individuals.
Yeah, what was really interesting about the first two group stage matches for USA was it was kind of a similar game, right? Like both teams sat back, were in low blocks, wanted to try and counter and score that way. But the US did such a great job of keeping possession, attacking in really dynamic and wide sort of areas that both teams had to collapse in on themselves. And when they collapse in on themselves, then they don't have that person that they can break into a line behind or be able to beat U.S. counter pressure. And what we saw is that U.S. would lose the ball and then they would pounce and they would get it back in these really great spots. And then these teams could never kind of open up and be able to find any room to breathe. And that's why I think the U.S. was so successful in those first games. It was great to watch. I mean, if we can do that to every team, that's the dream. I would love to see the players that Poch thinks he's going to be playing and starting in the knockout rounds as the starting 11, because you're still getting a pretty decent break, right? And they don't have to play the whole game.
Yeah.
They don't have to be in there like the entire match. Like if you need Christian Pulisic to take a break or you need some guys to like be able to come out, you can sub them at the 45, 60 minute mark, right?
This is my question for you. So there's the 4 players sitting on yellow cards. If they pick up a second yellow, they're suspended for the round of 32.
I wouldn't play them.
I was going to ask you, have you ever had a situation where someone said to you, hey, play free, it's fine, you know, the result technically doesn't even matter, just don't pick up a yellow card? Do you think you'd be capable of playing a game under that circumstance?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I can, but that doesn't take into consideration the referee or the other players. Like, for sure, I think that sometimes, no matter what happens, it could be like a total accident, and you still get a yellow card. Right. I mean, that's happened to me multiple times.
I mean, you're a victim. Everyone knows you've never
you've
never actually deserved a yellow card your entire career.
Exactly. So I just think, like, if I was the coach, I would probably most likely be really conservative with those players. Those were the ones that I'd sub, or maybe those are the ones that aren't going to play. But I do think, as much as possible, get this team, this starting 11 on the field against Turkey, get them that kind of knockout round experience that they're going to see, because quite frankly, the two teams that they played are not going to be what France and Spain and all these different type of powerhouses. That's not what they're going to see. So that doesn't really truly prepare them. I am of the mind that, like, yes, you can get tired, of course, as the tournament goes on. And at the same time, I do think there is a disadvantage to sitting too long. I don't think that there should be time to relax in a World Cup. I just don't.
Yeah. I think obviously it's a preferred situation to be in, to figure out, rather than how do we survive? How do we get out? But the 11-day break is fascinating just because of the nature of the 48-team World Cup. It's the longest layoffs we've ever seen between games. You add to that the potential of taking a game off, and now you're in unprecedented territory where you basically would have 2 weeks off between games, which is why I tend to agree with you that you probably start the players. You have 5 subs. You have 3 windows plus halftime to use them in. You can manage that game as you need to. You do have the 4 players on yellow cards. They are 4 crucial players. I think for me, Chris Richards, no chance. I'd play him, 1, because of how important he is, and 2, coming off the injury and the way he started the World Cup, I think he's proven that he can sort of get up to speed quickly. And so he has that in, it is part of his makeup that he's capable of. Balogun's an interesting one because you're talking about goal scoring and confidence, and you want him to ride that, and it's been so long for the national team. And Also,
These
like,
nines, why are they so
no, they're so
particular?
personality driven. Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is your hope would be, I mean, you shouldn't have to make a tackle to save a goal if you're number 9. Also, you're probably not making tackles anyway. Also, no one should be making that tackle to save a goal if you're sitting on a yellow card and could be sudden, because that's not worth it, and that's sort of the balance you have to find. I think he's the one that you look at from that group and you say, all right, is it off the bench where we see the game states, and maybe if it's chippy, we don't use him, but if it's not, in the 70th minute, do we give him a 20-minute run out? He gets to run out a tired back line. Maybe the game is stretched. Does he get a third goal? That's something for him to continue to feel good about as he goes into that last game. I think he's the big question mark of all of them, but it's fascinating. I mean, what are you going to do? Tell Tyler Adams to go play a game and you just can't get a yellow card, and like that's the only thing to focus on? It just feels like a wild way to put him out there.
That's true, and that's a really good point. But he plays at the highest level, and that's sometimes something that a coach is going to have like ask you to do.
Right.
And you're just going to have to figure it out, because if you want to play, that's the way that you have to play. And if you're not able to, then you can't play.
Every game you pick up a yellow, you're one yellow card away from getting suspended, because a second yellow is a red card. But there's leniency referees give you for the second that they don't give you for the first.
I do think that the yellow card rule in general is just such an interesting rule. In fact, it came into like huge consequence in my World Cup in 2015.
Yeah.
And we saw a total changing of the guard. I think it was against China in the quarterfinals. We had to change it
Round
up.
of 16? Yeah, the Ottawa game.
Exactly. And we had to like rotate a bunch of players. And truly, I think that it kind of unlocked some really incredible play. And then we saw that group kind of go forward through the knockout stages. But it's really interesting how the yellow card rule can come into play. For us, it actually ended up working out quite well. But I don't think that I would want to take that chance if I was Poch.
Here's the other thing. Do you get guys' experience in a big game, a World Cup experience for a first time? I mean, one of the things Poch has talked about is like finding players and learning things. Like he just hasn't had that long with a lot of these guys. So the flip side of this is this a chance for Haji Wright to get a start? Is this a chance for Timothy Weah to earn more minutes? Is it a chance for Christian Roldan to make his 2026 World Cup debut, right? There's a lot of players in here that I think can help this team get to the final stage who haven't been called on yet because of the nature of the game states of those first 2 games. And I think that's the other thing that Poch and his staff has to manage here is who do we think we're going to need, or who do we think from training or their personality thinks is ready for a breakout that maybe we could take advantage of, get them in this Turkey game, and then see it and move it forward into the knockouts.
It's always a balance. So thankfully we're not coach, and it is Poch, and he gets to make these decisions, and we get to just enjoy and watch and then talk about it later.
It's the best.
It's the best. All right, that's it from me and Gus, but thanks for tuning in, and we got a lot more great things for you in this episode.
I'm here with Auston Trusty, the center back for the U.S. men's national team. And Auston, this is so fun. You had your first World Cup game just this past game against Australia. You got in the 80th minute. The crowd is going absolutely wild. Like, I mean, Seattle is just another level of a crowd. What was going through your mind when you're up? I think it was 2 goals at that point, and you're getting subbed into your first World Cup minutes. How does that feel? What was going through your mind?
Just honestly grateful. Obviously, you prepare your mind, prepare your body to go in any situation. Obviously, you could start or you come off the bench, and that case scenario, I was coming off the bench, and you know, I'm happy that we were winning because, you know, coming off the bench, especially as a defender, it's always not the easiest because it's a different rhythm and different kind of like breathing to the game in a sense.
It's a unit within a unit. You know what I mean? That back line.
Yeah.
I always thought of it as like this back four is a unit within this team. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, totally. And a lot of the game is about rhythm. You know, whatever position you come into, it's the rhythm of the game. Sometimes it takes a little bit, a couple minutes to really get in tune. So yeah, just finding the tune as fast as possible and then closing out the game. That was my job. That was really
And you
happy.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys closed it out quite well. Congratulations. I did hear that the entire stadium was serenading the team in what must have been one of the coolest moments. I think it was Take Me Home Country Road, John Denver. I mean, that must have been so surreal. Is there any way to describe that?
I know a lot of people say like, oh, the European atmosphere, and maybe Americans don't necessarily get it, but that was a European atmosphere like that.
Yeah.
The whole entire stadium coming together, celebrating a win of the home team.
Yeah.
It's like really just showing unity of the crowd, the fans together. It's a brotherhood, it's a sisterhood, it's a family all together, but also, I guess, applauding the performance that we put on, the team put on, and we all kind of share that moment together. Those are memories that will forever live in all of our minds. Because I think that was the best American atmosphere playing on home soil I've ever experienced, and hopefully it's only get better.
Yeah, that's a big comment, and hopefully you'll be going back through Seattle too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Topping the group is an amazing accomplishment. You've done it within 2 games, not within 3. This is the first time a U.S. men's national team has ever done that. That's an amazing, I mean, like, clock it.
Good.
But I wanted to know, are you surprised that you all achieved this just after 2 games?
No. We have belief in ourselves individually, but also belief in us as a team and as a unit. So the goal is to win every single game, and it is to win every single game. So we got fortunate that other teams necessarily didn't do as well, and we were able to win that group in that fashion and within 2 games. But that's the mindset the entire time.
Whether it's game day, day drinking, or just kicking back with friends, reach for Truly, the official hard seltzer of U.S. Soccer. Bursting with fun, refreshing fruit flavors, and a bubbly style, Truly is super light by design, so the good times keep going. With just 1 gram of sugar and 100 calories, there's no heaviness slowing you down. And with more variety packs and new styles than anyone, there's a Truly for every taste. Truly, made to share, made for the match. So raise a can to the Stars and Stripes, cheer them on, and drink like a believer. Truly, the official hard seltzer of U.S. Soccer. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Now, I'm sure it's easy to start looking ahead because you know that you're going to be in the knockout rounds. How do you stay focused? How does the team stay focused?
I think it's holding each other accountable, but also staying grounded. You know, I think it's day by day, game by game, training by training session. Not getting too high, not getting too low. I think a lot of us are very well-established pros now and been in a lot of crazy and cool environments where we have to be like that. We have to live that way. So I think it's also a testament to the players and put themselves in positions in club teams to, you know, live this day in, day out. So that's kind of what you're seeing nowadays, and we all kind of know how to approach it because you have to learn it.
I'm glad you mentioned the club environments and how it can be absolutely crazy. And as a player, you have to kind of navigate that because you're playing in Scotland, right? Like for Celtic. And you've had a really big year. You won the Scottish League and then got selected for the U.S. men's national team, World Cup team. No big deal. But I want to know, the rivalry games in Scotland are quite intense, right? So when you're playing Rangers, I think that's like a totally crazy level. I've never been a part of something like that. Can you talk about what that is and if that kind of prepares you for this?
Oh, totally. Yeah, this whole entire year kind of prepared me for like these moments and what we're walking into, which I'm really grateful about because, yeah, the Celtic versus Rangers is one of the most historic games ever, and it's one of those games where the atmosphere leading up to the game. For example, if some fans would rather we beat them than win the league. Like that's how much it means to them. Like they'd rather win and have bragging rights over their friends or their friend of a friend that hates Celtic or hates Rangers, and they can say like, "Ha, we won, we beat you guys."
Yeah.
So it's just one of those environments where it can get very, very hostile, and it dates back a long, long time, and it's not just football; it's religion, it's a lot of things all in the one. So it really means a lot to everybody. And then, yeah, this past season, winning the title, winning a cup, but especially the title in the fashion that we did. I'm not sure if you know, but it was a last day title race, and I happened to match up with Hearts, and we ended up winning in like a very movie-like
dramatic
style.
fashion.
Yeah, it was like they're gonna have to make a documentary or a movie about it because how the season went, and my coach came back after being retired, left, and then came back again to win the league. Yeah, it was just a movie type of ending, and we got to a point where it was like 10 games left, and we had to win every single one. And so that kind of mindset of having the atmosphere, having the environment of playing for Celtic, playing for such a big club, and then it's only a winning mentality. Only winning is acceptable.
Yeah.
And then having to go ahead and do that, which is great, but when you're building up from a season where you get to a point where like you have to win into a game, it's a certain mindset to switch into.
Yeah, it's like a knockout round. Like
Exactly.
you have to win.
So then I'm really thankful going through that and came out on top of it and coming into this situation. So
That is pretty great
everything's
prep.
aligning.
That's pretty great prep. I mean, you can't get better
No,
preparation
yeah.
than that. So I do want to know what's the best part about playing in Scotland. I'm assuming it isn't haggis or Scottish food. And I do have a Scottish friend, so I feel like
Yeah.
I can use this quote, okay? He told me himself, he described the food as, quote, unappealing, unhealthy, and mostly gray in color. Can you confirm or deny?
The food or just
The
environment?
food.
Yeah, I haven't really. Scottish food is like, I guess, haggis. You have the black pudding. You know what black pudding is?
Yes, I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I can't even wrap my head around trying that.
Yeah,
still
I
haven't tried
I
beans on
try not to
toast.
eat foods encased in its own intestines, you know.
Yeah, same. Yeah, you know the beans on toast. Like I haven't even tried that.
Really?
I refuse to try it.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like beans don't belong on
Principle.
toast, especially in the morning. Like, what are you doing?
I love that principle.
Yeah. So maybe maybe it's just me being me, but
Oh.
I gotta stick to it. I stick to my guns. Yeah. So yeah. What was the question? The best thing?
Yeah, what's the best part about playing in Scotland?
The fans, really. It's Glasgow is a big bubble. So like you're kind of the outlook on Celtic players, for example, like it's a certain outlook. Like in Glasgow, you're like a superstar in a sense.
Yeah.
Not saying that being in a way. So like the fans really treat you well, and the city, they love you, and it's just really cool to come from an environment. I guess we're trying to change that in U.S. soccer, but coming from an environment in America where it's not necessarily. I didn't grow up with that.
Right.
And going into an environment overseas where it's people's lives and it's their grandpa's grandpa. You know, they've been a fan, and then all that. So it's just cool.
It is really cool. And I think one of the best parts about the World Cup expanding to 48 teams is that countries like Scotland and Norway and Cape Verde get to be part of it.
Have you seen the Scotland? Sorry, have you seen the Scottish fans in Boston?
I'm just about to
Sorry,
ask
sorry.
you about
I jumped
this.
it.
No, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you know. Like the Tartan Army. Talk to me about that. It's been so fun. They've by far been my favorite fans to watch.
Yeah, it's cool because it's like, also Boston's like such a cool spot for them
Yeah.
to go to at first, and I feel like Boston fans would really embrace them because they're kind of similar,
And I feel
similar
like,
vibe.
yeah, I feel like
you know?
they would also embrace like the Boston Tea Party part of
Yeah,
it too,
yeah,
you know, like the
yeah.
Scottish fans. So
Yeah, they hear that they drank the whole entire city dry is just hilarious. Like it's like, and all
I'm
the
not
TikToks
shocked,
and all
though.
the videos I've seen of all the Boston people and Scottish fans just all getting together. It's just like that's what the World Cup's about.
I
Bring
totally
people together
agree.
who
It's
would
the
never
best.
they would never think about visiting, and now Scottish fans have a history and something tied to Boston, and Boston fans or Boston people are going to go to Scotland and experience that. You know.
I know, it has been so fun to watch. And then even the Norwegian fans in the subway rowing. I live in New York, so I'm hoping that I'll get to like cross paths with them and maybe be in the same subway as all the Norwegian rowers. I feel like that would be hilarious. But
awesome. It's a World
best part of the World Cup. I do think that there's this misconception around the United States that it isn't a soccer nation. And I'd argue that it certainly is. What would you say?
I think it is in its own way. You know, I think like any country, if you like the sport, you really support the sport. You really support the sport.
Yeah.
And our supporters now, they're live hard, die hard football fans, not just in the country, but throughout the world.
Yeah.
I mean, they follow certain teams. They have their certain players like any other sport. I think it's more, in a sense, people say that just because of maybe the atmosphere at games and maybe because it's not the most dominant sport. Obviously, we have American football and basketball here. But I think soccer, I think football is the real football. Is up and coming, and that's what we're trying to do. You know,
Yeah.
I think my entire mindset, and I know my teammates as well, is you have individual goals, you have team goals, but the main goal between all this and what we're doing here, and especially U.S. soccer, is to enhance the game and grow the game and inspire the next generation. And that's
I think you are.
I hope so, and that's the mindset. That's what you know. At the end of this, whatever accolades you have, whatever happens in my career, like that's what you want to do. You know?
I was just talking to my friend about this last week, and I was telling him about how I have this relative that reached out to me, and she told me about a Klingenberg, which is my name, that played pro soccer in Pittsburgh back in the 1920s. And it had me thinking about all of these immigrant leagues that used to pop up in all of these different towns on the East Coast because they just came from these soccer-loving nations. Yeah. And I do think that they brought a piece of their country and soccer culture with them. So I think we have a really unique and beautiful soccer culture here. Mm-hmm. So I always argue with people who try and say that we're not a soccer nation. So it's nice to hear that you also feel the same. Yeah. It might be like a little bit fragmented. I don't think that there's ever been like this unifying kind of force, but
yeah, that's what
I think now we're starting to see that with this World Cup, and it's changing.
Yeah, I think having it in person, having something really tangible to see the atmosphere, get the vibe. Mm-hmm. Like imagine, for example, Boston. Imagine how many soccer fans are coming out of Boston now. Just having an experience with the Scottish fans.
Exactly.
It wasn't even U.S. It was Scottish fans.
Exactly.
But now the love of the game. So, oh snap! Like I like
yeah.
this. You know?
That's
so,
precisely it. And I think what's been so cool is my college soccer friends, we have a group chat, and it's lit right now from this World Cup. And at first they were like, they started out a little bit ambivalent because they were like, we're really like USWNT fans. We haven't really watched the MNT, but like, you guys have changed that, and they believe. Yeah. And I'm seeing this not just in my group chat, but across the country with people that I'm talking to. It's all of you. Like, you're the unifying force. How does that feel?
It feels great, but in my head, the job's not done. And not saying it will ever be done, really, because you're always trying to grow the game. But this group has a lot to prove, and we know that we can do it. So we just got to go out there and prove it day in, day out. And at this point in the stage where we're at in the tournament, that's the only mindset you can have.
Yeah. And for a long time, I think the past World Cup teams, like the Landons and the Dempseys and the Beasleys, they were these guys that inspired a generation. They probably inspired you, in fact.
Yeah, that game versus Algeria.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. That goal, Landon,
goal.
right?
Yeah, so obviously my sister, I was saying before, watching her play, I got inspired through her, and then that goal in South Africa. Even the song, like Waving Flag.
Yeah.
Like that, those moments are what inspired me to keep on going, because you want to achieve it. And yeah.
Well, now you're that person for somebody. How does that feel?
It's cool. As everything I've been working towards my entire life and career. I don't know. I think when you achieve that kind of stuff, or you get there, you kind of just shift it to something else. What you're trying to achieve in the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've always been. But yeah, to hopefully be like that to somebody and have an impact on them. That's what it's about. And I think after the tournament's done, and hopefully we can create more memories for people, then you kind of sit back and let it relish it. But right now, I can't even think about it. It's just you're just so focused on the goal.
Yeah, we'll catch up after the tournament and check back in about that question.
Perfect.
Maybe over a beer or something.
Perfect.
Yeah, sounds good.
Right now, many businesses are trying to do more with less. Smaller teams, tighter budgets, and a lot more pressure. The last thing you want to spend time on is handling payroll by hand. Gusto helps take those tasks off your plate so you can get back to focusing on the business. Gusto is online payroll and benefit software built for small businesses. It's all-in-one, remote-friendly, and incredibly easy to use, so you can pay, hire, onboard, and support your team from anywhere. Gusto brings everything into one easy place. Automatic payroll tax filing, direct deposits, health and commuter benefits, workers' comp, 401k, with options for nearly any budget. You can run unlimited payroll for one monthly price with no hidden fees. Switching is quick. Just transfer your existing data to get up and running. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/USsoccer and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/USsoccer. Terms apply. For more details, go to gusto.com/USsoccer.
USA is undefeated so far in this World Cup, but so is the internet. And I know it's probably best for you not to look what's going on online, but I'm a fan now, and I'm all over it. And if there's something that the USA does well, it's social media jokes. And I want you to know this World Cup is allowing us to shine. And it has been so fun online, just seeing things that are going on. My favorite stuff that's going on is people are discovering their love of ranch.
Ranch?
Ranch. So Europeans are like, what is this liquid gold called ranch?
Oh my gosh.
And they're trying to bring it home in buckets.
In buckets?
Yeah, and they're
Oh my
like
gosh.
so confused. There's other people that are so confused.
Can it get through customs?
No, I don't think so. Customs has actually put out a tweet that's like, please
Stop
do
bringing
not
it.
bring your ranch. We will not approve it. It's been outrageous. And then there's
crazy.
people that are like, I'm at a Mexican restaurant and they're just like putting this like salsa and chips on our table.
For free.
Yeah. They're like, are we going to have to pay for it? And they're like tweeting this stuff and people are like, no, enjoy it. It's what it's supposed to happen. So it's been really, really fun. And I just
That's
wanted
funny.
you to hear that, like, don't go online, but there's some fun stuff going on.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's awesome.
But I did talk to Alex Freeman last week, and he was talking to me about how he keeps Tim Ream young. And he was saying that he keeps him up to date on all of the fun stuff that's going on, like memes and stuff online. What is one thing that Alex Freeman has taught you about being Gen Z?
Taught me?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't know.
I mean, he was playing it up. That's all I'm saying.
He hasn't taught me anything. I literally, I don't even know. Maybe like he would laugh at some like meme or I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
he'd show me something and laughs at like I'd be like, what is this dude? Like, but
This is hilarious.
that's about
I
it.
feel a little bit, I don't want to say lied to, but maybe he exaggerated a little bit talking
I
about
think
how
him,
he was.
Brendan, Joe Scally, and Gio Reyna, they're probably like the same kind of like
They have a
humor.
group chat.
Humor, same kind of humor.
Okay.
While the rest of us are kind of just like. But it is actually it's funny sometimes how they're talking about it, but
Yeah.
I think they find certain things funny that
Oh
don't
my
some of us.
gosh. So, like, is it because he's just so much younger than everybody else, or?
No, I think it's just your feed.
It's
Like,
just
maybe,
him.
maybe my algorithm isn't like that. Maybe his algorithm says that.
All right, well, good to know. I mean, I'm gonna have to check back in with him and be like,
yeah.
I've heard
Just
differently, man.
Show-
What's
like,
going
have
on
him swipe
here?
like 10 times on his TikTok and see what shows up.
Okay, that could be interesting.
There's still time to enter Henkel's Summer of Soccer sweepstakes. Win U.S. Soccer store gift cards and gear for the game. No purchase necessary. Visit henkelsoccersweeps.com for official rules.
Henkel and its family of brands, including Persil laundry detergent, got to be hairstyling products, dial soap, and Loctite adhesives, help U.S. soccer fans and players prepare for every moment. Okay, Trusty, how were you first inspired at home to pursue your soccer dreams?
Through my sister, who you know.
Yes.
Youngest of 6 kids, and she played soccer in the family. And before I had the Florida State University, played in the national teams. So yeah, inspired through her, watching her play, and she was a center back. So honestly, that's why I'm a center back through her. So yeah, she was my real inspiration.
Did she let you play with her? Or was she like pretty hard on you, or?
She's a good bit older than me. So at that time, I'm nothing to her. So at the time, so if she can maybe kick the ball with me, but
Yeah.
not actually playing
Right.
really in depth.
That makes sense.
The day I was supposed to report to college, signed pro.
That's pretty cool.
I had my UNC ID and everything. I was so hyped to go.
I bet the coaches were like, so close.
I know. I remember calling, and because UNC is my dream school.
Me too.
There you go. Yeah. But the main reason I wanted to go there is because one, the colors are sick,
Yeah,
but also
agreed.
I heard from the grapevine that Michael Jordan came back every 4 years to meet the students.
Just every 4?
For some reason, I heard that, and I was like, you know what? Like, this is my only chance to meet him, so like, I'm gonna go there. So then that's why I committed. And I was like, this is my chance to meet Michael Jordan.
Wait, now I think you have a better chance.
Huh? I hope so.
Yeah, come on.
I hope so. Michael, where you at, man?
Yeah, come on, Michael. So one of my best friends, this is kind of a random story, but I thought it could be fun. She used to Venmo me every time I got an assist. And as an outside back, I mean, she wasn't putting up that much money. Like how
good,
some,
yeah.
but it was basically how some kids get money for good grades.
Yeah.
And it was only 50 cents for regular season, and then it would be like $5 in playoffs or a World Cup or something like that. And I was wondering, does anyone do that for you?
No, I
Growing up
wish.
or now?
I wish. I got nothing. I got
Nothing.
like a pat on the back. Barely even that.
Barely even that.
I'm the youngest of 6 kids.
Yeah.
So at the time, they're just like, my parents were like, I've seen this like 10 times already.
Yeah.
And then my siblings were like, I've done that like 20 times.
Yeah.
So like,
Especially your
this is
sisters.
yeah,
Like,
this is nothing new.
that's
So
hilarious.
I got nothing.
But I do think what my friend was trying to do was just help me make it fun. Like I was still a kid, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do that like makes soccer feel like you're playing as a kid again?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. What do I do? I know I do stuff, but like, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think one thing is just I try to laugh like every day, especially at training. Like obviously you're trying to be serious, but like if I can have certain moments where I think something's funny or someone does something, whatever, like just laugh and have a good time. I think when you make it so serious and you're up, you're tense and you're tight and you're thinking too much, like sit back, relax, enjoy your game, enjoy the trust in your process. You've been there, you've done that. You know the skills, your body mechanics, like your brain knows to tell your body without you thinking like how to pass the ball. So like when you're just relaxed and having fun and enjoying the game, that's when you play the best football and it's fluid and you have crazy ideas and it comes off, you know. So nothing on the spot I can really say other than just like laugh. I have a good time.
Yeah, that's perfect. I used to laugh like all the time in the warm-up line. That was like the time where I felt like I could really cut loose the most because you know the coaches aren't around. You get to just be with the same people all the time. But I just wanted to say I think that's such a great mindset. Having fun, being loose, that's the best that you could possibly do. I know that I didn't do that in my World Cup, so I'm wishing you so much fun. Thank you so much for talking to me. This has been a blast. And I want you to know, I know you're not on the internet, but the country is behind you. And everybody truly believes, and we're having so much fun watching you all. So thank you for that.
It's great. Yeah, it's great to hear. That's what it's all about. So hopefully there's millions more people who are happy as well. And we're getting there. The job's not done yet.
Countries from all over the globe come and they compete for the World Cup title. Something that I've won, actually. Pretty cool, huh?
Hi, I'm Meghan Klingenberg. I'm here at Zoo Atlanta, and we're doing psychic animal predictions with the Southern Ground Hornbills, Zazu and Gumby. Zazu's hungry. Okay, if you remember, we have USA on the left and Türkiye on the right. Let's see what happens. Ooh, here comes Zazu. Okay, here he's looking. Oh, looking at Türkiye. Oh, uh-oh. Woo, pivot. Yes, Zazu, yes. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! USA! 2-0. 3-0. Zazu is USA's biggest fan. Welcome back to the US Soccer Podcast presented by Henkel. I'm your host, Meghan Klingenberg, and that was Psychic Animal Predictions. And Goss, when I was there and I saw how good these Southern Ground Hornbills were at soccer, I asked if maybe I could like get in there and like play with them a little bit because they let me in with Arya, the Kuni pig, and the animal care specialist regretted to inform me that one hit from their bill and I'd have a broken shin.
Stop, because it's that joking. Strong.
It's that strong. And I was like, well, I have played with Rocky Rodriguez for quite a long time, and those shin guards, you know. They did come in handy, and they were like...
They didn't think your charming joke was worthwhile to get in with animals that could hurt you?
They were like, I'm not sure that we can take this risk for the animal's sake, not yours. Which is
Can I
totally
sidebar
fair.
us for a second to say how cool is science and how cool are animals? Like,
Oh
are
my
you
gosh,
kidding
I
me?
love
There's just a bird out there that has a beak that could just like break an ankle, and that's like naturally occurring. That's so cool.
It is really, really cool. And quite frankly, Zazu was really, really good at football. Like predicting a 3-0 USA win. I mean, come on.
Bank of America has long supported sports like soccer because growing the game means giving new opportunities and bridging new connections to communities nationwide. That's why they're proud to be the official bank of U.S. Soccer, championing everyone who dares to ask, What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, official bank of U.S. Soccer. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Have you ever been to a beach soccer game?
Like an official game.
An official beach soccer game between two international countries.
No, I
Like
have
an
watched
international match.
many Beach Soccer World Cup on TV. Love it. And I have been to like unofficial stuff. I think I've been more to foot volley, right? The one with the volleyball net,
Yeah, it
but
goes
where you
over
play with
the-
your
yeah.
feet. Yeah, but not beach soccer.
Okay, well, I went yesterday
Yeah.
to U.S. men's and women's beach national teams versus Trinidad and Tobago on the Venice Beach.
Soca Warriors, baby.
It was so cool, dude.
Yeah.
They have music, they have bicycle kicks, they have lots of sun, lots of sand. Like it was really cool. And
Yeah.
they are talented in a way that I never thought to be talented at soccer. Because one of my favorite things about the game was warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Not the stretching part. I
Mhm.
need that to be said. But the part where everybody would get around in a circle and we would just do like juggling tricks and
Right.
try and keep it up and make fun of each other. And you would like do something sick and everybody would be like, oh, right? But like this is the whole game of beach
Right.
soccer. It's not warm up. It's like they're dribbling, but they're dribbling with their thighs and they're like boom, 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 shot on goal,
Right.
bicycle kick. It's nuts.
Did you see Morgan Church?
I
Was
did.
Morgan
I
there?
caught up with Morgan Church,
Hell yes.
and they had a big win. So that was pretty fun. But yeah, the teams were great, and I also caught up with Alessandro Canale
Yeah.
and talked to him, and so yeah, it was really nice to like catch up with the people that we've had on the show too.
For sure, from
and see
remote,
them in
yeah.
action. Yeah.
No, it's like one of the things I love about soccer is there are so many people in the world who are good at it. It's not just like, oh, here's the 300 NBA or WNBA players, and then everyone else is worse at the sport than them,
Right.
because it's so subjective and the game's so different. And that's where like a beach soccer or futsal, you get to see that. And the things they're capable of, other players are not capable of. And that just happens to fit the skill set here, which is bike kicks and volleys and like a totally different skill. But
Exactly.
anytime, like I'll have it on in the background and you're just like, that's the coolest goal I've ever seen. And it will happen like 5 times in a game.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think obviously we are like all eyes on the men's World Cup this summer, right? Like, of course we are. But everyone, I think we need a reminder that U.S. soccer isn't just about men's and women's national teams. It has beach soccer, it has futsal, it has deaf soccer, it has CP teams. Like, it has a bunch of different teams that are supported. And it was really cool because this was the first time in the history of the women's beach national soccer team that they've ever played on home sand. If you can believe that.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it is pretty cool. And it was nice to be able to support these other national teams because I've never gotten to do that before. So
Right.
it felt good. It felt
And
good.
I think Morgan talked to us about them working to potentially host, which how sick would
Yeah.
that be? What better place in the world than the beaches across the U.S., which has
Totally.
surfing culture and volleyball culture and all this stuff to bring beach soccer to that? Because I know for me, and hopefully next year for the Women's World Cup in Brazil, but when I went down to Brazil in 2014, we were like, we were searching beach, because like you assume in Brazil, that's where it's played. That's where I went and saw foot volley and like watched the people out on the beach play this at such a high level. It would be really cool to have one of those World Cups here. And listen, we're a World Cup country. That's what we do. We host World Cups.
We're a
Keep 'em
World
rolling.
Cup country. Give them to us. Give them to us. All right. Okay. I hope you all know about the U.S. Soccer House presented by Bank of America at this point. It is a fan-first destination located just off the beach in Venice, California. You can gather, celebrate, support USMNT there. And I have seen a lot of people there drinking beer, having fun, watching the smoke go off every time we score. But you can also catch me and Heath Pierce on game day right after the final whistle. We'll be going live with our immediate reactions to USA's performance, bringing you behind the scenes moments from this World Cup and having a blast up there. And the best part is it's all free for US Soccer Insiders. And if you're not an insider, it's super easy to sign up. You just have to do it before your trip. Visit ussoccer.com/soccerhouse2026 to learn more, and I better see you there.
O'Reilly Auto Parts, who are in the business of keeping your car on the road. O'Reilly Auto Parts offer friendly, helpful service and the parts knowledge you need for all your maintenance and repairs. They've got thousands of parts and accessories in stock, either in store or online, so you never have to worry if you're in a jam. The team at O'Reilly Auto Parts can test your battery for free in or out of your car. If it needs to be replaced, they'll help you find just the right battery for your vehicle. Need your windshield wipers replaced, a brake light fix, or a quick service? They'll help you find the right part or point you to the nearest local repair shop for help. Whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, friendly. And that's something I can attest to personally, that the folks at O'Reilly Auto Parts are always friendly and knowledgeable. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are your one-stop shop for all things auto, do-it-yourself, and you can find what you need in-store or online. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/US Soccer. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/US Soccer.
All right, Goss, last thing. Time for our favorite segment, Ask the Pros, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is the part where you, our audience, can ask me or Goss a question about soccer or about anything really, although you all seem to stick to soccer a lot. Okay, Goss, let's get to you. We have a question from Michelle, who is in LA. As someone who has been around the beautiful game for so long, what has been the most encouraging thing for you to see in the growth of soccer in the U.S. over the last decade?
I think the two big ones would be the way that the growth of the game elevates people who have cared about this for so long. Like, there's just been people working in the backgrounds for a century caring about the sport and sort of carrying it along. I know you obviously played for Anson Dorrance, who is, part of this generation with Bruce Arena and Ziggy Schmidt, and on the men's and women's side where college soccer kept the torch alive, is what Sasha Sarofsky says about that sport. But, people who ran youth clubs or ran sports clubs around the country who kept sort of the sport going and kept the structure of the sport going. I think as the game has elevated them, which is really exciting. And I think from a playing point of view, the openness to the diversity of soccer players, I think many people will connect with the idea of growing up around a game where the biggest, fastest players played center forward and the game went direct, and that's how they played. And one of the big frustrations was well, when will you develop a Messi? And now you go and you watch youth national teams and you watch the best youth clubs and all of that. And there's undersized players who are good on the ball. There's oversized players who are great on the ball. There's oversized players who are bad on the ball. There's so many different types of players, but I think now the infrastructure has become large enough that they can all sort of find their place. And I think that's what's really exciting when you get into a national team setup where Sebastian Berhalter and Alex Freeman and Giovanni Reina, they play the sport so different from each other, but they found the right places for them to develop, for them to debut, for them to play pro. And it didn't really feel like that was the case 20 plus years ago. It was there was one model, and if you fit that model, maybe you could find a spot. And now there's so many different models. So I think that's been really, really exciting to watch.
That's such a great point. And honestly, I've been having so much fun watching Alex just totally grow into his best self during this World Cup. It's been so beautiful to see somebody step up in that way, especially somebody so young.
And what I say to people, Heath Pierce is actually a great example who you brought up. So Heath always told me this story where he was a 10 through University of Portland, one of the great programs. And then he got to, I don't know if it was Norway or Denmark, and they were like, all right, well, you're probably not going to be a 10 for us, so you're a left back. And then he went into training, and the guy he was trying to beat out for left back had been a left back their entire life because they were told at 12, you're a left back. And he was able to overcome that, and that was a great part of his career. But Alex Freeman, maybe 20 years ago, would have been center forward for his team his entire life until he got to that level. Alex Freeman now has a space where a coach can say to him, hey, I think you have a real chance at fullback, at center back to be a difference maker. And
it's finally a position that people are actually being groomed for instead of being like, oh, we're going to take a 9, we're going to take a this, we're going to take a that, and stick them there.
And Kling, I'm sure you're seeing it at 2021.
Yeah.
The way he reads the game, the way he handles his positioning, the way he passes out of his position, he's an expert at this age, and he's only going to get better, where 20 years ago, he would be a novice at this stuff and have to learn it.
Exactly. And that's what happened to me too. So I am glad that the left back, right back positions are getting the clout that they deserve. It never should have been a position that was like, we'll just stick someone there.
We're going to create an award show just for the fullbacks, the lifetime fullbacks.
Thank you. Anyways, okay. Thank you, Michelle from LA. Good question. You definitely led us on a tangent there, and that's what the best questions do. And we have another one from James in New York, and this one's for me. You've inspired so many players over the years. Who inspired you when you were younger, and what is one lesson you learned that still influences you today? My favorite player growing up was Michelle Akers. Without fail, my favorite player. I just thought everything that she did on the field was who I wanted to be. And it was probably a bit of a pipe dream, because if you look at Michelle Akers comparatively to me, she's a completely different body, completely different person. But the way that she stood out on the field, how competitive she was, how feisty she was, that's what I modeled my game after. And just how technical she was as well. She was so good on the ball, had great vision. So yeah, we're obviously not going to tackle the same way, but I always wanted to be like her in the sense of her competitive fire, how skillful she was. All of those things are what I was trying to model my game after, and that certainly inspired me. Those 99ers in general, it lit a fire in me, and I said, that's what I want to do when I'm growing up. And I guess the lesson that I learned that still influences me today is just that you need to have that fire, whether it's in soccer or in this new job, right? In this new life that I'm living, there needs to be a burning passion inside of you to be the best at it. And that doesn't need to be the same for everybody, by the way. I get it. Not everybody wants to be the best accountant or salesperson or whatever. Everybody has different things. Some people value family. Some people value art. Some people value whatever. I personally value getting really great at whatever thing I'm doing. That is what fills me up inside, and that's what's still stuck with me.
Love it.
That's it for our questions from James and Michelle. Thank you so much. I love getting these questions. I think that they're really fun. So keep sending them in. Okay, that's it for the show. Don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcast, subscribe on YouTube, and never miss an episode.